Hello, my name is Russell and this is Windows Business Weekly. Today I'm going to show you how to use Microsoft Teams. We'll start with an introduction to what is Teams, and then I'll take you through all of the basic functionality. Towards the end of the video, I'll show you some more advanced tips. So even if you have some experience using Teams, you'll find some new ways to work with it more effectively. Teams is a collaboration tool that allows you to bring together all of your conversations, files, and meetings in one place. Not only that, it also allows you to collect information from many Microsoft 365 applications. So for instance, you can also use it with Planner and Forms, Word, and Excel. Microsoft does have some features available in preview for consumer accounts, but that's something that I will show you in another video. You can use Microsoft Teams on the desktop. There's a desktop application. You can use it in a web browser, or you can download the app for iOS or for Android. Today we're going to use Teams in a browser. So let's head over to the PC and get started. So here we are in the web browser, and the first thing I need to do is to navigate to teams.microsoft.com. So I'm going to do that now, and we get presented with the sign-in page. So here I have to put my work or school account information. So I'm Russell at WinBizWeekly, and then I have to enter my password. And I'm going to stay signed in, so I'm just going to click yes. And here we get the option to choose to either download the desktop app or to continue with the web app. For now, I'm going to continue with the web app, but you might want to download the Windows app. If you're doing things like meetings, then there are a few more features within the desktop app that you don't get access to within the web app, for example. So I'm going to click here, use the web app instead, so that we can get started straight away. And here you can see the Teams window on the screen. Now I'm going to take you around the navigation a little bit to start with. So up in the right-hand corner, we have the Me control. And you can see there that we've got the option to do various things like change the settings, or we can come here, download the desktop app if we choose to do that at a later stage, or download the mobile app. All I have to do here is to put in an email address, and it will send a link to my mobile device. I'm not going to do that right now. I also get the option here when I log in for the first time to turn on desktop notifications. So for instance, if you receive a message, then you'll get a notification to show you that you've actually received something. So I'm going to click turn on so that I get those notifications. And if you come over to the left-hand side of the screen, you can see here that we have various different options like chat and Teams. So let's start off with Teams and see what we have here and what we can do. So at the moment I have 3 teams here that are already created. So I have the Windows Business Weekly team, and you can see here I can expand it or contract it. I have another team called Azure Training Series, and the third team is called RSITC Consulting. So we have these teams already here, but what if you want to create a new team? So you come down to join or create a team here at the bottom of the window, and you can either join a team if you have an invite code, or you can create a new team. So I'm going to create a new team. And we have the option here to either start from scratch, or to create one from a Microsoft 365 group, or to use one of the available templates. Now I'm going to use one of the available templates. I want to manage a project, so I'm going to click that. And it shows me here what is going to be included in this new team. So here I will get 4 channels and I will get 2 applications. Now you can add or remove channels or add and remove applications later, so don't worry about that. And now all I need to do is to click Start. Here I get the option to decide, is this a private team or is it a public team? So with public teams, anybody from my organization can join the team. With private teams, even people inside my own organization, I need to give them permission before they can join the team. So I'm going to make this a public team. And now I'm going to give it a name. Now my dog Argo, he's working with me on a new project to set up a company, Argo's Delicious Dog Food. So I'm going to set up a new team for that. And once I've entered a title and a description is optional, all I need to do now is to click create. And that will now take a few seconds to create. Now I'm going to click close. And if you come back over here to Teams on the left-hand side of the window, we can see that we have a new team available, Argo's Dog Food. And you can have different teams maybe for different projects, and then each team you can subdivide into different channels to help organize your team. So now I want to add Argo to this channel because it's not just me working on this project. So in order to do that, I'm going to click on the three ellipses to the right of the new team, and I'm going to select Add Member. Now all I need to do is to type the name of the person that I want to add. So I'm going to add Argo here, and then click Add. Now I have the option to make Argo just a member or an owner of this project. Now I don't trust Argo very much. Not to order more dog biscuits than he's allowed, so I'm just going to make him a member, give him limited permissions, and now all I need to do is click close. So every channel has a post tab by default, and any conversations that we have here, everybody who's a member of this team can see. So I'm going to start a new conversation here. So I'm going to say, hi at Argo, how are you? I'm going to post that there, and you can see there that Argo has just replied, and I've also got a notification down in the bottom right corner. So we can carry on having this conversation with Argo. Of course, we can add more team members, either using the Add Member option here in the three ellipses, or we can use the Add More People button in the middle of the Post tab here. So that's how you create a new team and add members. But there's not very much going on here. So let's have a look at the Windows Business Weekly team, where we've already got some information. So I'm going to expand this team and come down to the General channel. Now here by default we have the Posts tab, and there's also a tab called Files. So here on the Files tab you can create a new document. If you click the drop down here, you can either create a new folder, or maybe a Word document or an Excel document. You can also upload documents from your local computer. You can synchronize them using the OneDrive client to your local PC. You can also download any of the documents that you have selected. And while this works with OneDrive by default, there are lots of other cloud storage providers that you can also add to Teams if you like. If I want to work with a document, all I have to do is click it. So I'm going to click Argo's Christmas list, and that will open up in the Teams window, and I can edit this. I can collaborate on it with other Teams users who are a member of this team. And as you can see here, we get the Word web app. So I can add to this, for instance, and then I can close it when I'm done. Now, the only other tab that we get by default is Wiki. Now, this tab differs a little bit from Posts and Files in that we can remove it if we like. So I'm not going to have a wiki for the general channel, so I'm just going to remove Wiki. But I do want to add an additional tab. So here I get the option to add different Microsoft 365 applications. So you can see here I can add a Word tab or a SharePoint document library or a Microsoft list. And also there are lots of third-party integrations that we can also add here to our channel if we like. But I'm going to add a Microsoft Planner tab. So I'm going to create a new plan called Tasks, and I'm going to save it. And now you can see the new tab has appeared at the top of the channel. Now, if you remember when we created the new team, we used a template and it gave us 4 channels by default. And you can see here that Windows Business Weekly also has various different channels. Now you can add your own channels. So there are two ways you can do it. You can either do it on the general channel posts page by clicking create more channels, or you can come to the three ellipses to the right of your team and click add channel. So we need to give it a name, so I'm going to say new project. Doesn't have a name yet, so I'm just going to add a description. And then I'm going to set the privacy. Is it accessible to everybody on the team, or am I going to restrict it? So you can restrict it if you like. So you can restrict it to a specific group of people, but I'm going to make it accessible to everybody who's a member of the team. And I'm also going to click automatically show this channel in everyone's channel list to make sure that they can actually see it there. And I'm now going to click add. And now you can see we have the new project channel in the Windows Business Weekly team. Now, using the three ellipses to the right of your team, there are various options here for managing teams and channels. So if you click to the right of a team, you get the option to click Manage Team. And here there are various things that we can do. First of all, we see who are owners of this team. At the moment, it's just me. And we can see who are members and guests. And we can see that Argo is just a member of this team. We can have a look at different channels. So we can see the different channels and various information about each channel, who they're shown for, whether they're shown for members, and the description. And if I click on the three ellipses here at the end of a channel name, there are various things that we can do with the channel. We can manage channel notifications, we can pin a channel so that it never gets lost, and we can also get an email address for a channel if you want to email a message to the channel, and it will then appear on the Posts tab. There are various other things here like settings for the team, so we can add a team picture. You see that I've done that already. I can set member permissions, so what are members allowed to do. We can also control guest permissions and the way that various other stuff works within our team. We also get information here about what's going on in the team, so you can see how many users there are, how many applications, and how much space our files are taking up. And finally here, we get a list of the different applications that are available in this team. Now, in a similar way, I can also manage channels. So let's say I want to manage the announcements channel. I just come to the three ellipses to the right of the channel, and then I get the option here to also select Manage Channel, and I can set here the permissions for the channel and also view the analytics for this channel separately. If I come back up to the three ellipses to the right of my team, there are various other things that we have here. So I can leave the team if I like. I can also edit the team, and this just lets me change the team name or the description and who can or can't join this team. If I come back here again, I can get a link to the team if I want to invite people, and I can also delete the team. And we also get a similar set of options for our channels. So I can get an email address, a link to the channel, and I can also edit the channel name if I like. We can delete the channel, of course, and there are various connectors that allow us to integrate with third-party applications, and you can see a list of connectors there that you might want to explore and add to your own channels. Okay, so let's have a look now at how we can use the calendar pivot to schedule a meeting. So I'm going to come over here to calendar, and I'm going to schedule a meeting for next week. So I'm going to just fast forward there to next week, and I want to put a meeting in there at 11 a.m. on Monday morning. So I'm just going to click that, and here we get the option here now to add a title. So discuss Argo's new business. And I'm going to require that Argo comes, so I'm just going to type his name there. So we've already got the dates and the time for the meeting, and it's already calculated there how long the meeting is going to last according to the time that I've set. And we've got various other things that we can put here, so I can add the meeting to a particular channel if I want. If it's a physical location, I can put a physical location there. But of course, this is going to be an online meeting, and I can put some other information about this meeting here and format it if I like. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to send the meeting right now. So if I send that, and you can see now that that new meeting has appeared in the calendar. Now, there are a couple of different ways that you can start meetings. You can start meetings from a channel page where you get the Meet Now button, and we've also got the Meet Now button on the calendar page, so you could just click Meet Now and start a meeting right at this moment. If you want to join a meeting that you've been invited to, all you need to do is click on it in the calendar and then click Join. So let's do that. So I'm going to click Join, and you can see here now that my webcam view has come up, and I've got the option to do various different things here. I can turn my webcam on or off. I can also switch my microphone on and off using this toggle button here. Custom setup allows me to do various different things. So if I have different audio devices on my system, I can choose between different microphones or different speakers, and I can do that there. Now, I'm happy with the default settings, so I'm just going to click Join now. And you can see that it's connecting, and now we're ready to start the meeting. We're in the meeting, and this is great for educational purposes, for organizations that want to host meetings between different people that can't be in the office together. You can use it for all sorts of different purposes, of course. And we've got a control bar at the bottom of the meeting here. So if I just scroll my mouse, I can turn my camera on and off. I can mute my microphone, and I can also share things with other participants. So if I click on the share tray, I get the option to do various different things here. I can choose to share my entire desktop or just an individual window, or I can browse and select a file. So let's say I want to select a file that I have already here, so I can select a PowerPoint file. If I select that and just click share, and you can now see that I'm sharing this PowerPoint presentation with all the members of the meeting. So here I get the option to scroll between the different slides in the deck, and there's only one slide in this deck, so nothing really to see. I can temporarily prevent other people from seeing what's in the presentation if I need to, and here I can just click Stop Presenting. If I come back down to the share tray, you'll also notice that I've got the option to start a whiteboard, and here this is useful maybe in educational settings if I want to draw something or explain something. I can also do that within the meeting. So just like the PowerPoint presentation, if I come down to the bottom left-hand corner, I can stop presenting that whiteboard. So what else have we got here? I can raise my hand if I've got a question. So maybe I want to get the attention of somebody who's presenting. I just put my hand up. I can chat with other people who are also participants in the meeting here. And I can also show who is actually attending this meeting. So you can see that Argo was invited, but unfortunately he's still sleeping and not really interested in this meeting. If you click the three ellipses here, there are various other things that I can do. So I can record the meeting if I like. I can enter full screen. And I can also show the meeting notes. So if I click here, take notes. These notes will be available to everybody after the meeting as well, and during the meeting people can see what's going on. And that's pretty much it. So I've also got the option, of course, to hang up and to end the call. So I'm going to do that now. And you can see there that we've now finished the meeting. Of course, you can just basically come over to any channel. So if I come over to Teams, and I can just click Meet Now, and I can start a meeting straight away. And here, of course, I can invite people. So let's say we want to wake Argo up. I'm going to just type his name in there, and now this will be calling Argo, and we'll try to get him to join this meeting. That's his phone, but he's still sleeping. He's not interested, so can't get him to join this meeting, unfortunately. But that's how you create a meeting straight away. You don't have to schedule it in the calendar. You can literally just say, meet now, invite who you like, and as soon as you invite somebody, it will start calling them, and hopefully they will be free so that they can join your meeting. In the search bar at the top of Teams, we can find stuff in our Teams. So for instance, if I come here and I want to search for something connected to Argo, I can just type Argo and it will show me all of the activity, people or files connected with the search term. So you can see here the top results, what it thinks are most important, or you can see all of the results here where Argo is mentioned. I can also switch to people, and of course I see him there as a team member, and any files that also have Argo's name in them. So I'm going to come back to messages here, and of course I can filter this, so I can say who is the message from, what is the type of message, and there are more filters here if I want to hone down and find something for a specific time, or has a mention about something, or has an attachment, for instance. If you come back up to the search box, it's also possible to run commands here. So if you type in a /, you'll see a list of the commands that are available. So for instance, my status is currently set to available, but maybe I want to set it to away. And now if I come up to the me control, you can see that my status has been set to away. And of course I can just set it back to available. And these commands are just to really stop you from having to take your hand away from the keyboard to the mouse. It's maybe just easier sometimes to type something and get what you want without having to click through menus to find what it is that you're looking for. So let's have a look at some of the other options on the left-hand side of the Teams window. So at the very top we have activity. Now this shows you things like mentions and replies. It doesn't show you absolutely everything that's going on because of course it might quickly become overwhelmed. But here you can see various things that are going on that I might need to be alerted to. So it's quite useful, for instance, if you miss a notification and you just want to see what's been going on in various chats. So I can click here and I can see various things are going on. I've had this conversation with Argo, and you can see that he's relaxing today, not very interested in what's going on in Teams. And we can see all of that information in the activity pivot. You can also filter the feed so that if you want to search for something, then it makes it a little bit easier to find what it is that you're looking for. Now, we've been talking about chats in the channel windows on the Posts tab, but those chats are publicly available to anybody who has permission to view the channel or team. But what if you want to use Teams to have a private chat with somebody? Now, you do that here by clicking Chats, and you can see that these chats I've had with Argo earlier today, and there's a new chat started here. And basically, to start a new chat, all you need to do is click New Chat here. I can enter the name, so well, we already have a chat with Argo, but let's add him there. So it will obviously show you what's already been happening with the chat with Argo, and you can have a private chat with Argo there and see what's going on. Now, I didn't mention this earlier, but there's all sorts of formatting options you can do within your posts, whether they're in a channel window or whether they're private. So you can open a full editing window here that basically allows you to set things that you might do in Word, let's say formatting text in terms of making it bold or italic or underlined, or even setting different paragraph styles. If you go along the list here, you can see that we can set things on messages like, is it standard or is it important? We can attach files, we can add smileys, we can add GIFs, we can add stickers, we can schedule a meeting within a post, we can add a Microsoft Stream, which is a video stream, and finally here we can add praise. And here under the free ellipses we can add various different things to a chat here. If we want to add, I don't know, the weather or the news, it might be some useful information that you want to add to a channel, for instance. Now this is private chat, and we also have the same thing with private calls. So we can of course create a meeting, and that's usually for speaking with lots of different people, although you can have a meeting just with 2 people of course. But we've also got the calls tab here, and this allows me to basically have a private conversation with somebody. So for instance, I can look for Argo, there he is, and I can call him, either video call or make just an audio call here if I want to do that. And the last visible option here is files. So here we get the option to see all of our recent files, so anything that I've accessed recently. I can see files that are part of Microsoft Teams, or I can get access just to my own personal OneDrive storage. Now there's not very much there at the moment, but this is my personal OneDrive, so only I can see these files, or I can access the files that everybody can see who has permission to be part of this team. If I'm not using OneDrive, I can add different kinds of cloud storage, as we saw earlier, like Dropbox, for instance, or Google Drive. Now we've got access to all of the default Microsoft 365 apps that are part of our organization's subscription, but we can also integrate Teams with third-party apps. So if you come down to the apps icon, you can see a whole load of different apps that we can add to Microsoft Teams. So maybe there are some other systems that you want to integrate with Teams, and there's a very good chance you might find it in this list. So it's something that you can explore to see whether you can integrate Teams with other systems that your organization uses. So let's come back to the main Teams window. Now we had a quick look at the beginning of the video at the Me control. So let's have a look at this in a little bit more detail. So I can set my status here. I can even set a duration for how long I want it to be set to do not disturb, or one of those other statuses. I can also set a status message, maybe saying I'll be back in 10 minutes or something like that. If I come down to settings, there are various global configuration options here that I can set. So for instance, I might want to change the interface to dark mode. You can change the default languages there, and there are various other options here that I get to select for privacy, but probably the most useful one is configuring notifications. So Teams notifications, like any other application, can become overwhelming. So you might want to limit the amount of notifications that you get from your Teams and channels. And this is where you can modify how those notifications are displayed and when they're displayed. So before we wrap up with some advanced tips for Teams, so we can now see down here on the general channel, a little icon has appeared, a video icon. Meeting in Argo's dog food. And there you can see at the bottom of the Teams window that Argo is asking, can I join a meeting right now? So I'm going to say that I'm busy, and I'm going to decline that. I'm just going to say, sorry, I'm busy. So now he will see that. Oh, and you can see there he's already replied. So I want to show you a couple of advanced tips before we end today's session. You have all of these teams and channels here, but when you have lots of teams and channels in your Teams window, it can get overwhelming sometimes. There's too much information going on. Now, of course, you can just collapse teams, so that helps you to organize things as well. But you can also hide teams and channels. So let's say, for instance, I don't really want to work on the Azure training series at the moment. I can just click the three ellipses to the right of the team and click hide. And all of my hidden teams will appear down here. Now I can do the same for channels. So let's say, for instance, I don't want to see the announcements channel in Windows Business Weekly very often. I can also click here and just select hide. Now if I click on another channel, you see that I have one hidden channel, and if I click here, you can see announcements. So I can either unhide it, or I can just temporarily view it, and you can see that it's in italics here, which means that it's hidden. And if I click on another channel name, it will disappear and come back down to my hidden channel list. So this is a great way for organizing your teams and channels to make sure that you're not overwhelmed with information in the Teams window. Now, in a similar fashion, if I come up to the chat window where I have my private chats, again, I may have a lot of chats here going on, but maybe there are one or two chats that are really important for me right now. So what I can do is I can pin those chats to make sure they don't get lost in a sea of noise. So again, if I want to pin a chat, I just click on the three ellipses to the right of the chat, click pin, and you can now see that this will always appear at the top in the list of pinned chats. So that's really easy for me to find it again. So if I come back over to a team and I'm going to select Windows Business Weekly, okay, let's have the announcements channel. And let's say I've got an important message that I don't want to lose. So I can click on the three ellipses to the right of the message, and I can click Save This Message. And you can see now in the top right hand corner on the Me control, I get a notification there to say that the message has been saved. And to access all of my saved messages, I just click on the Me control, click on Saved, and it will now show me a list of all the saved messages that I have. So in a nutshell, that is how to use Microsoft Teams. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more similar content. In the future, I'll be doing more videos on how to use Teams, some of the more advanced features, and how to use the personal or consumer features of Teams that are now in preview.